ask yourself three questions. The first of those, what's the purpose of my leadership? You spend more time at work than anything else. Why am I spending all this time? What do I want to accomplish? And how will I make a positive difference in the world? Which, by the way, is the mission of the Harvard Business School, to develop leaders who make a difference in the world. The second question is, how can I stay on course of my true north, my beliefs, values, and principles, without being pressured off course or without being seduced by money, fame, and power? How can I be that same authentic person at all levels? And third, how am I going to develop myself as a leader? Because leadership is like anything else, being a great athlete, being a great musician. You have to develop yourself every day. You can't just show up at 40 or 50 and decide you're going to be a leader. It's a process of development. And I'll talk about all those things. But I'd like to go, before I do, to a brief quote from Robert F. Kennedy in his lifetime. He delivered in Johannesburg in 1966. And Kennedy said then, a couple years before he was assassinated, he said, "Few will have the greatness to bend history itself." Now, I always indicated many of these people, like President Clinton, have definitely bent the course of history. But for most of us, that's not going to happen. But he went on to say, but each of us commit ourselves to a series of actions to make a positive difference in the world, and the sum total of all those actions will write the history of this generation. It's my hope that the history of your generation will be a far greater one than what we've seen in recent years. Because we've just come through a very rough period, what I call leadership's lost decade. It started with the fall of the Twin Towers not far from here, and the collapse of Enron just 10 years ago. And we saw many, many companies getting in deep trouble, and these were not coincidences, they're not just accounting adjustments. Over 100 companies had very large accounting adjustments, which was certainly to their discredit, because many leaders in my generation lost sense of what they were called to do. But leadership isn't just about aligning people, it's about empowering them. It's not exerting power over other people. That's what the media will tell you. That's wrong. It's about empowering other people to step up and lead. And many of those people on the front line, like a woman, Trin, I met, who made heart valves for Medtronic. And she said, "Mr. George," I asked her to explain her procedure. She said, "Let me tell you, I make heart valves to save someone's life. And my model here of quality is the kind of valve I would put in my mother or my husband or my son. That's my criteria." She said, "I make 1,000 valves a year, and if one of those valves fails, someone will die. I could never live with that." She said, "But you know what I'm really proud of? That there are 1,000 people, 5,000 people walking around in the world today because of the heart valves I made." Now, she's an empowered leader, even though she has no direct reports. So how do you empower the people in your organization to step up and lead? Because it's not going to take a few great leaders at the top. It's going to take hundreds of leaders throughout, maybe thousands, throughout your organization. And leadership is ultimately about service. As Paul Pullman, the CEO of Unilever, said, and also Jack Welch, by the way, has said, it's not about creating shareholder value, it's about serving your customer. And if you do that well, the shareholder value will follow. And as leaders, our job is not to have people serve us, we're there to serve them. And finally, it's about a spirit of collaboration. That's what Palmisano brought to IBM, is that spirit of collaboration throughout this great global organization. Because how else can it be? It's not about siloed organization. You have to knock all that out and look at how people are going to interact between India and China and Germany and the United States and South Africa and Brazil and all around the world, and have those kind of relationships on a peer-to-peer basis. So leadership today is much more about what I call the really hard things of aligning people, empowering them, serving your ultimate customers, and collaborating, having a great team of collaborators. And I came to the notion of true north. That's how we get these kind of leaders. So my question for you is, are you following your true north? Are you on track? Are you well grounded so that you know what your true north is and you can follow that?